of the desert mountains. A Friday doubleheader under the lights, the Xfinity Championship on Saturday, and a Cup Series champion crowned on Sunday. It's a weekend you'll wish would never end. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 3rd through the 5th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
It's the sound of the fight song, the excitement of the rivalry.
Auburn has won the Iron Bowl!
It's the unbelievable upsets. It's the Heisman hopefuls.
Oh my God, Davis is going to run it all the way back!
It's the national rankings. It's college football.
The Sooners right down the field.
Tune in each Saturday for the college football game of the week. Listen for all the action, drama, and excitement on your home for college football. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
Did you know there are resources out there to support every Arizona service member, veteran, and their family? The Be Connected program is available statewide at no cost. We're here to help you navigate the system and get connected to whatever resources you need. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
What's happening? The show is starting, and for some reason, the show was suddenly trying to end all at the same time. Having some goofy computer issues here. I don't know what's going on. Hey, everybody, it's Monday. It's the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And all right, so we got so much to talk about in the next hour and a half. I don't know how we're going to get everything done. At 4:30, we're going to bring you the Browns and Steelers Monday Night Football game. Okay, so it's just going to go crazy, is it? Is your finger on the space bar? The hell is going on here?
I'm not touching anything.
I'm just pretending to have a problem. I'm just pretending to have an ego fit here. Don't you realize how important this show is, Keon?
Yeah.
Tens and 20 of people are listening right now. You've got to get this right. I can't work this way. You know, as silly as that sounds, we have all worked with people who are actually like that. Want to name them all?
No, let's save them the embarrassment.
Okay, fine. Well, anyway, so we've got Browns and Steelers. We're not airing Saints at Panthers. And I just heard in that update, they're like, hey, it's an NFL doubleheader. Bullcrap. It's not a doubleheader. These games are on at the same time. A doubleheader means you get one game, and after that, you get the next game. Here, you can't listen or watch 2 games at the exact same time. Without the Sunday Ticket. Is Sunday Ticket covering this nonsense? No, it's on ESPN and ESPN2 or ABC 15 and ESPN2. And it's the dumbest damn thing. And I don't think me to tell you something right now. Fox 10, get your ass, maybe improve the quality of your 720 HP product. My God, it's horrible. Hey, watching that Cardinals game, all the pixelation. Did you see that too? It's not just me, right? The broadcast it looked horrible. Just me?
No, I didn't see it, but
I'm very sensitive to such things.
Well, but you have like a newer TV, and it's
I have a
much larger.
wall-size TV, and if every other station can get it right, by God, Fox, home of the Cardinals, you should be able to get it right. You know, I realize it's not an issue with Fox; it's an issue with Channel 10. Here's why. Watching the Sunday morning football show, everything looked horrible. The graphics and the pixelation, and so then I switched over to the Sunday Ticket. To the Colts broadcast of the Sunday morning show for Fox, crystal clear. That's how I know for sure it's Fox 10 and not just Fox themselves. So I'm just saying.
You watch the best.
It's not even close. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to do here. We don't have much time. We're going to talk about every single game. I got an hour and a half or so to do it. ABC, by the way, airing Monday Night Football all season long on ABC 15. They weren't originally going to do that. They were originally not going to do that, but then there was the writer's strike and the actors strike. So because of all the strikes, they're like, well, we can fill this space with the football and not have to worry about whatever show we don't have to put in there.
Well, I mean, it's how fortuitous for them that the NFL came around at the time that it did.
So that means that, basically Monday Night Football is a scab. And, shame on them for crossing the picket line.
Well, I mean, okay.
I mean, not really. Anyway, by the way, tonight with the Browns and Steelers, it's Amari Cooper is probably not going to play. So hopefully you were smart enough to put somebody else in his place for Sunday. Or somebody from Saints and Panthers or somebody from the Steelers, because it don't look good. But before we get to all the football that we got to talk about, there are 11 games left, Randy. The Diamondbacks swept the Cubs. Yay! So now they are just barely ahead of everybody else in the wild card race, 0.5 games ahead.
Well, they are in the second wild card spot at this point.
Yeah.
So there's
but
another
look how close it is. 0.5 games ahead. Miami Marlins and the Cubs, they're tied to try to get into that third spot. And the Cincinnati Reds are only half a game behind that with 11 games left. Anything can happen.
4 teams working on 2 different spots for the playoffs. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But congratulations to the Diamondbacks really coming out and playing some ball. Their pitching staff stepped it up. Ketel Marte showed up. What about Gurriel? I mean, good night. He had 3 home runs in one game. And this team just keeps scrapping, man. Corbin Carroll, he had some big hits. And that's the thing about it. This team is starting to get hits, timely hits. When they've got guys on base, they're able to move them around. And that's what they were doing early. And that's what has sustained them through the early part of the season. And then they kind of got in this hitting funk. And that you put that with the pitching funk that they had, and it was bad. But let's hope that this keeps going. 11 games left. Let's finish strong, Slates, and let's see what happens in the postseason.
Blissful Hayes says, "Hey Jeffrey, who won the National League West? Your mom." Mr. Pringle says, "Do WNBA teams play man-to-man defense?" Oh, stop it, Pringle. Moist One says, "Doubleheader, more like a double-decker with the Browns." Oh, nicely done. Very well done, Moist One. Big George says, "Hello, everybody, and happy Monday and stuff." And he says, okay, it is a Kyler Murray show today. I think everybody's tired of that joke, George, but we will have on this day in history. Just relax. By the way, today is National Cheeseburger Day. I would not be interrupting this whole spiel about football and how much little time we have, except for there are some deals out there that are to be had because the major places are observing National Cheeseburger Day. Like McDonald's has a double cheeseburger, 50 cents today through the app. So it might be worth downloading the app. Get yourself some cheap burgers there. Burger King has deals for the next 3 days, actually. Today, reward members get a free cheeseburger with any purchase. Tomorrow is a free Whopper Junior. And then on Wednesday, the Whoppers only cost $3. So that's a damn good deal these days.
All right.
Wendy's will through Friday have Junior Bacon Cheeseburgers 1 cent. with any online purchase.
No kidding.
Dairy Queen has a free cheeseburger with any any order of $1 or more. So you get yourself I got an ice cream cone, bam, free cheeseburger. And then White Castle, if you hate yourself, you can buy one, get one free sliders through Wednesday, but you only get one per customer. So why would you do that?
You need more than one slider to even feel like you ate something. What do you mean only one?
And it's White Castle.
And it's White Castle. That too.
So anyways, there you go. I've got that. Now, it was a really bad loss for the Sun Devils on Saturday night. Jaden Rashada, he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, and it's just going to get worse and worse for the Sun Devils. And then, of course, everybody's screaming for Ray Anderson to be fired. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in the days ahead. Yeah. Deion Sanders' team won again in double overtime. Took them double overtime, but man, if they'd have lost that game, it's not so much about, hey, they won. This is about you almost lost to the guy at the school who was talking crap, with sunglasses and stuff. You know how humiliating that would have been for Deion Sanders if they'd lost that game?
I mean, maybe, but man, Colorado State, you got to come away feeling like what he is doing over there, Jay Norvell, is I don't even know. Some of those hits were Bush League. There was a play where Shadur Sanders got driven into the ground. Like, they looked like the dirtier team. Yeah, like, that was the story. And I think if they had won, that would have still been the story.
Yeah. So that we have not heard the last of that for sure. But Travis Hunter is going to be gone for a while, I think. He ended up at a hospital.
Yeah, so, and that was a dirty hit too.
A lot of dirty hits. So anyway, we will be surely recap the weekend of college football tomorrow. But like I said, we are on a mission to talk about every single NFL game that happened this weekend before 4:30. And you know how things go around here. We don't usually get there, but we did last weekend. And I think we can do it this week. Real quick, though, let's do this so George stops bothering me like a telemarketer. It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1994, PBS aired Ken Burns' Baseball as a 9-part documentary that explored the relationship between the sport and society using archived pictures, film footage, and a soundtrack of interviews and the music of the times. Like the game of baseball, the documentary was long and boring. The 1995 Primetime Emmy Award winner for Outstanding Informational Series enjoyed an audience of 45 million viewers. Back to me, Jeffrey. Yeah, 45 million viewers who got free sleep aid. My God, did you stay awake through any of that? I sure tried, Randy.
No, I did not. But it was informative. I haven't seen the whole thing entirely all the way through, but
18 and a half hours.
Yeah.
18 and a half long hours. And I tried, but it just
it did go on quite a bit. Yeah.
Took me out every single time. Best sleep I've ever had. Mr. Wilbur says 29 bottles of beer on the wall, 29 bottles of beer. Why am I reading this? I'm not reading anymore. President Wallet says it only takes one White Castle to feel something.
That's a good point.
Moist One says local Fox probably had to cut back the TV side after they have a massive amount to what? I don't understand what you're saying there. Blissful Hayes says, bring back Herm Edwards. He can at least get him to a Las Vegas Bowl. Pringle says, can Keon tell us again how great Justin Fields is? I need a good laugh. We're going to get to that because I was on the Justin Fields train and now, well,
I've never said Justin Fields is great. I
said probably talking about me.
Well, I don't know.
He's great. I said that he could probably. I think he's going to be pretty good.
I didn't even make any predictions about what Justin Fields is going to be. All I'm saying is, whatever deficiencies Justin Fields has, the team around him is so bad, it's not going to get better. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
The team
the Bears are in trouble.
The team is horrible, and the problem that I have when people talk about Justin Fields is that they say, wow, did you see how bad Justin was? Like that defense even remotely stopped anything. It didn't. Like the offensive line even remotely protected him. It's a whole thing.
We're going to talk about the game here in a minute. We're going to go through all of the games from the weekend in the order of our NFL picks contest. And hopefully everybody I had a much better week of picks myself. I feel I'm getting back to normal. Just like this season feels like it's kind of getting back to normal, but it's not quite there yet. But let's go ahead and start with the Arizona Cardinals. The hell, Randy, you had the game. You had the game. You were up 20-0 in the first half.
Yeah.
And then it just went bad for you, man.
Well, and then the second half, New York came out and scored, and Arizona responded right back. Suddenly it's 28-7, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. But then all heck broke loose.
Yeah, it just turned really ugly, and you lost Budda Baker. They lost Saquon Barkley, and of course Jonathan Gannon said it was the second half defensive collapse is on me explicitly. Like I take full responsibility for it.
I mean, okay, I guess maybe, but when your offense cannot have a sustained drive to keep your defense off the field, I would say it's not your defensive calling or your defensive preparedness. It is a lack of offensive effectiveness. And the offense, although they did score some points and there was some, Connors ran like a man possessed yesterday, but it just still wasn't enough. I mean, they couldn't keep their defense off the field. And by the fourth quarter, I mean, I was watching the Cardinals defense, hands on hips. They were all breathing hard. I mean, they needed some help, and they weren't getting any from the offensive side of the football. So, well, I don't know that it was a meltdown as much as it was they just wore our defense completely out.
For 6 straight quarters, the New York Football Giants looked like they really, really, really wanted the first pick of the draft this next year. But suddenly, like a light switch went off. They started playing better in that second half. Doesn't mean they're any good. I wouldn't expect that they're going to be any good this year. A lot worse, having Saquon Barkley out for 3 to 4 weeks is, I guess, what they're expecting on that. But whoever's fault it is, listen, there's no reason for Gannon to try to go out on his shield here because, you don't have the players you need to do what you need to do. He's probably part of it. It's a tank job. And if it's not obvious to him, well, then he really should not be an NFL head coach because he doesn't know anything. It's just obviously a tank job.
Well, he still has to go out there and try to win because he does owe it to the guys in the locker room to do that. Tanking is on the front office part. Like the coach shouldn't be out there like trying to coach his way to losses. And yeah, he does.
He took the job.
He does this. He did this in the Super Bowl. The Eagles defense did not play up to their standard in the Super Bowl, and he took the blame for that. I don't know that he should have been blamed.
Well, he didn't say out loud what the real blame was, that he was preparing for his interview with the Arizona Cardinals when he should have been preparing that defense to try to win Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Jalen Hurts coughed up a football, and Eric Bieniemy made a second half adjustment that exposed his defense. It's not like he wasn't prepared. It's not like the Eagles just didn't show up for the Super Bowl. Like, no,
I just like bringing that up.
They just got Mahomes in the second half, which happens to people. I agree with Randy though. Like the offense, just you got to be able to maintain drives, even if you're not ending in touchdowns. If you hold long drives, you're able to keep your defense in it. And I think that the Giants, while they do have a lot of problems, they do have a very good wide receiver room that is going to keep them in games if you don't defend them, especially in the secondary. Like Jalen Hyatt, that guy is going to be real.
Well, next week, who you guys playing?
We take on the Cowboys next week, and I predict
sweet, dirty Jesus.
I predict we will win by probably just a field goal. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
that's just not fair. Oh.
Well, the Giants have to travel to Santa Clara and take on the 49ers, so they're going to get their ass.
They're going to get their faces caved in. So yeah, there you go. It's even.
My Colts turn around a surprise win for me over the Texans. I get it. The Texans are one of the worst teams in football, and it looked like a decent contest, which makes me think, wow, my Colts are so bad. But it was the battle of the 21-year-old quarterbacks. And for the time that he was in the game, Anthony Richardson looked a whole different class better than CJ Stroud, for sure. And even without Anthony Richardson, there comes Gardner Minshew after Anthony Richardson decided to bounce his head on the turf a few dozen times. And he went out with a concussion after getting I don't know. This kid's not going to last long. He keeps playing like this. He's putting his body out on the line too early, and not for anything that you should be doing. I mean, it's supposed to be the education of Anthony Richardson, not the destruction of Anthony Richardson. But the Colts ended up beating the Texans 31-20, which is nice. But every game he's getting hurt. One moment it's a knee injury, and the next minute it's a concussion. He's going to Cam Newton out before Cam Newton did.
I don't know about that, but I do think that he has to learn when to go for it and when to say, you know what, I'm going to step out of bounds. I'm not going to take that hit. That was the advice Trevor Lawrence tried to give to him in week 1 was, hey, some of these extra yards aren't worth it. They need you on the field. And if they don't have you, they're not really going anywhere. That's why they drafted you. But this is just a lack of experience thing. He just didn't play a whole lot of football in college. And so now he's out there playing now. And unfortunately, the guys in the NFL hit a whole lot harder. They move a whole lot faster. And we're seeing it. Like the hits that he was able to take in college and just keep going, you can't take those in the NFL.
Why is he not figuring this out? He doesn't seem like a dumb guy. Why is he not listening to the advice of people?
It's not that he's not listening. It's his habit of how he's always played. He's built like a safety. He's always been the biggest, strongest, fastest guy on any field he's ever been on. And it's a lesson you actually have to learn with your body. Some of these guys are going to hit you and it's not going to be fun. And like that, it's a thing that a lot of people have to learn. And if you don't learn it, you end up in an RG3 type situation, unfortunately. So I hope that doesn't happen to him.
What is the rule on concussion protocol? Is there, what's the amount of time that you have to be out? A minimum time?
I don't think that there's an amount of time. I think that there are 2 concussion tests you have to pass. And if you can pass those, because they're not all the same, like you might get a concussion and then it's not as severe. And if I get a concussion, it might be an incredibly severe one. And then the rule is basically you should be able to, if yours is not as severe as mine, you should be able to pass your concussion test faster than I passed mine. So I don't know how long he'll be out. And I don't know that the Colts know either yet.
You've been playing with a concussion here, Keon?
No, actually.
Well, you just said you had a concussion.
I used an example. It was just an example.
When was your last concussion?
I was playing flag football in college. And I knocked heads with somebody and he was out.
Oh,
I wasn't, but I did. I did have a concussion. Yeah.
Right.
Giant bump in my head though.
Is it a friend?
No, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, to hell with that guy. Anyway, so nobody was worried, and Michael Pittman Jr. says, "Yeah, nobody panicked when Gardner Minshew came in the game, because nobody there really believes they're there to do anything but train Anthony Richardson. These are all glorified preseason games." And I'm sitting there watching it, and I was like, "Oh no, great!" I was disappointed that Anthony Richardson was walking off to the locker room hurt. But yeah, I never cared if they were going to win or lose anyways. This isn't about wins and losses. This is about Anthony Richardson's learning how to be a pro quarterback. So then you feel like, well, this is now a waste of time. Win or lose, we don't want to train Gardner Minshew. We're trying to train Anthony Richardson. So it was nice to see him get the win. Everybody played their part, kind of showed that the team was kind of okay. The team is not good. The Colts are not a good football team. This is nothing but training Anthony Richardson for the future. That's all there is to it.
They're not a bad football team either. That's a good D-line.
It's the Texans.
It's a good offensive. I understand it's the Texans, and I also understand the Colts are going to lose a fair amount of games, but it's not. They are a pretty well-built team, which is why they've had trouble getting a quarterback. It's because it's hard to be bad enough with that roster to get one, and they have to trade up to go get a guy. So I think that you obviously want Richardson out there, but I still think that, having a new coach, a new offense, a new defense, all of that stuff getting installed this year, that stuff still matters even in the other games.
Berg wonders if your being on concussion protocol could have something to do with your fantasy football play.
No, I won.
No, he's not on the concussion protocol anymore. So
I'm all good.
I think I'm going to win. I think I'm going to beat Randy as long as Njoku, the tight end for the Browns, ends up having 50 points. Then it's an easy win.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Easy win. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about Keon's Commandos and every other game that happened over this weekend. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, it's Tony D. Join me and Ron Culver every weekday morning. It's your wake-up call, Phoenix, right here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today, the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
The NASCAR season will come to an end in Phoenix, but the championship weekend will last forever. 4 championship races in 3 days, all set against the stunning backdrop of the Desert Mountains. A Friday doubleheader under the lights, the Xfinity Championship on Saturday, and a Cup Series champion crowned on Sunday. It's a weekend you'll wish would never end. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 3rd through the 5th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
School on! Save on!
Back to school is on, and Staples has great prices on everything you need for your best year yet. Save on headphones and laptops. Save on notebooks, pens, and all the essentials. Priced low and still in stock. And right now at Staples, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each. Plus, select notebooks are just 35 cents each. School on, save on at Staples, where school savings are always in session. Ends 9/16. In-store only. Limit 30.
Arizona offers thousands of helpful resources for service members, veterans, and their families. But navigating the system can be confusing and overwhelming. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. Get connected to resources and benefits at no cost. Just call 866-4AZ-VETS now. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
Hey, gang, sorry I'm late. The other surgery went a little longer than anticipated.
Nah, you haven't missed much.
Oh, good. What's this guy getting? A car?
He's selling his kidney to get a new HVAC system installed.
Oh, an overpriced HVAC system. This is like the third person this week.
So you think the hot weather's over? Not if your AC isn't keeping you cool. That's why thousands of Arizonans depend on Desert Diamond Air. From 24/7 emergency service to diagnostic checkups to full replacement, Desert Diamond specializes in both residential and commercial HVAC systems with competitive pricing and experience to service and repair all major AC brands. And with federal tax credits up to $2,000, it's a great time to replace your AC system. Go to desertdiamondair.com or call 602-609-7288. That's 602-609-7288. Or search Desert Diamond Air on your mobile phone today.
Are you ready for the NFL season? Are you ready to win $1,580 in cold hard cash? Sign up today for the Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. Get over to 1580thefanatic.com and sign up today. Someone needs to win this $1,580 first prize. Why not you? Finish in second place. Cha-ching! You win $500. The Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. Sign up today at 1580thefanatic.com.
There. Now we're back. Now we're
Oh,
back on. We are having some odd technical difficulties.
It's been that kind of day.
So how do we have to redo everything we just said?
I would imagine.
Man, this thing is there's no way that piece should have happened right there. So here, talk about about the Broncos in the Washington while I get into this thing and figure out why it's going so crazy.
Yeah, well, we were previously saying that I don't know that the Broncos played a bad game offensively. I don't know that there's any one thing that you hold on Russell Wilson and say he could have done this or that better. I do think that, again, when you get sacked 7 times, some of that is the offensive line, but some of that is also the quarterback as well. Russell Wilson holds onto the ball a really long time. That's always been a part of his game, but I do think that in this particular instance, it worked against him with the defensive front that he was going up against. Chase Young looks like he's back in the defensive rookie of the year form that he had when we last really saw him. Montez Sweat looks like he wants to go get paid too. Like there's just some defenses that you don't really hold the ball like that against, and he picked the wrong one.
Let me ask you, how angry are you that Kareem Jackson got ejected but will not be suspended? I guess they took a look at it, and people behind the scenes are saying, yeah, he'll get a fine, but he won't get suspended.
Well, because I'm
talking about the hit on Logan Thomas.
Yeah, that bothers me because if you think the hit was bad enough to fine him, why wouldn't you suspend him?
Especially when he had a 15-yard penalty and a $14,819 fine last week when he knocked Jacoby Myers out of the game.
Yeah, and in both instances, he led with his head and launched himself like a missile. It's the one play they've been trying to get out of football for the last 12 years. You can't let that slide to me. That seems really wrong, and I don't know exactly what's prompting the decision that that's not worthy of a suspension, because so far, if you're Kareem Jackson, what you've learned is I can do that again.
I got to pay for it, but I can get away with it.
Yeah.
Pringle, thank you. Also, Mystery Girl, thank you for the heads up on our little technical issue right there. So now you got to worry. You're 2-0. All right, you're 2-0. And Jahan Dotson goes out on Twitter, puts out 2-0, and the yawning emoji, like, we're 2-0, which was a mistake, because then Micah Parsons, granted, former teammate of Jahan Dotson, but still, he retweets that and says, I'm coming.
Well, that was happening anyway. Micah Parsons.
I know, but now he's really coming.
No,
you got 12 weeks to figure this crap out, kid.
Listen, we play them in the only prime time game that we have on Thanksgiving.
You're going to be destroyed.
And I am not looking forward to that game at all. And to be clear, prior to the Jahan Dotson thing, I was already not looking forward to that game. That Cowboys defense is scary. They make people look bad. And I don't want that to be the primetime game. I'm not really thrilled about that. You know,
but don't you think with the history there between Washington and Dallas, don't you think that the Washington's going to get somewhat pumped up as well? I mean,
they're going to get pumped up, but
Ron Rivera is going to have his defense, amped up and getting after Dak Prescott, and there's going to be plenty of bulletin board material between these two teams before that happens.
No love lost, and the Thanksgiving game is always a big one when they play it. I am still deeply concerned because I look at Micah Parsons every time I watch the Cowboys play, and that guy's not blockable with more than with just one person.
If you think that Geno Smith, oh my God, when he saw Aaron Donald coming running at him, imagine what Sam Howell is going to screech when he sees Micah Parsons coming for him. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I'm afraid it's worse than that. I'm afraid that he's not even going to see Micah Parsons. He's just going to be hit and evaporate into a cloud of dust. I mean, Micah Parsons is scary. And I don't know. And Dan Quinn has always been really good with defensive players that you can just take and move around all over the place. He got a generational one with Micah Parsons. I do worry about that game, but I'm not going to focus on the Cowboys just yet. I'm going to worry about, can my team survive the Bills, because that's already a tall order.
Hey, Randy, enjoy Micah Parsons next week when the Dallas Cowboys come to take on the Arizona Cardinals.
I think we're going to be, ready for this Dallas Cowboys team. And I think they need a little humbling. So we'll just see what happens.
Stockton Slap says, hey, guys, I just need Rashid Hashid to get 30 points for Fantasy W tonight. I got a chance, right? Oh, yeah, I have a chance.
I mean, you always have a chance.
You have as much chance of getting your 30 as I do getting my 50 out of Njoku, okay?
You never know. Might be astronomical, but it is a chance.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, happy early release Monday, guys. Browns defense dominate Kenny Small Hands Pickett tonight. Watson's going to run for another touchdown. Of course, what do you say, Saints and Panthers? Did we even talk about the Saints and Panthers? I got the Saints on that one. What do you guys say?
I've got the Saints too.
Yeah, Saints.
Yeah. It's. I like Bryce Young. I thought he looked pretty decent week 1, but there's no weapons. He's got none.
Do we all have Browns over Steelers tonight?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I think I do, but I'm waffling on it.
The Jet says, hi, gentlemen. Another Monday, sad Monday. Thank you, Cardinals. I think I speak for all season ticket holders that we deserve a discount. The crap they're putting on the field and selling premier tickets for is getting to be old. On a side note, I have 10 wins for the fan pick'em contest this week. Should I pick up the visiting teams tonight? No. Yes. No, yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you do what you want, man. I've got the visiting teams. I think we all have the visiting teams, but what are you waffling on? Pittsburgh there, Keon?
Yeah, I don't think Deshaun Watson's looked good at all. And so like I don't, while it's easy to just look at the Steelers offense and go, ugh. TJ Watt had himself a day last week. It didn't matter because the 49ers have so many other ways to beat you. But TJ Watt was living in the backfield with Brock Purdy last week. And Deshaun is not Brock Purdy at this particular point in his comeback of whatever kind that is. He's worse. He is worse. And I don't trust him.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, did you see the poor guy that had the $5 parlay would have been cashed out for $20,000, but he cashed it out before kickoff.
Oh,
hopefully he's still around today. Oh, that is too bad.
That's very sad. Yeah.
So we got to get some of these other games in here because we're on pace. We got to get out of here at 4:30 for the Browns and Steelers game. So let's see here. The Falcons, Bijan Robinson, as advertised. How about that guy?
He's so good.
Holy moly. And they needed every part of him to do that, to get a 25-24 win over the Packers. And so out of this, we've learned that Bijan Robinson is for real. Jordan Love was 14-25, 151 yards, 3 touchdowns. So those stats seem conflicting. 14 of 25, not great. But he's got 3 touchdowns. What's the story there? Is Jordan Love for real or is he not for real?
I think he might be for real. I do think that the 14-29, he is inconsistent still. Like it's still kind of an up and down thing with him a little bit. And I do think that the receivers that they have, they're missing Christian Watson. What Christian Watson can give your offense and the room that it can give your offense, that's going to be helpful when he comes back. But with the guys that they have, it's a good group of receivers, but Christian Watson would elevate them to another level. And I think that would help Jordan Love be a little bit more consistent.
Hamlin Porter says, hey, Cardinals season ticket holder, if you're dumb enough to pay the high prices for this team, well, that's your problem. Don't pay. Maybe they'll change something. Signed, Lions fan for the last 50 years.
Nobody has more experience.
Good luck with that. Donnie says, my Kasai dinner was amazing. And he sent a photo there. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff right there. Kind of a dark photo, but listen, I've been there enough to know you had a great dinner. And he says, how good was that backdoor cover by McVay yesterday? Decided to kick a field goal with no time left to cover the 7 points. It voided my parlay, but hit on 3 other teams. It was amazing. Yeah, you know who was mad about that? The sports books. They're like, that decision ruined us. McVay is playing with his life out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Anyway, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll pick it back up and talk about more of the games that happened over the weekend. This hour is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook Casino. BetUS is celebrating 30 years by offering the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus. Get started today at betus.com. We're going to take that break and be right back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One, inviting you to join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner every Monday this season. It's Westwood One's 45th year of bringing you primetime NFL games, and the schedule is packed with great matchups. Plus, you'll hear Rich Eisen from the studios with interviews and the latest news around the NFL. Don't miss any of the action every week on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus, get a $5 O reward to use on a future purchase. Our professional parts people can also recommend all the supplies you need for your next oil change. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown. BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack, now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
School on! Save on!
Back to school is on, and Staples has great prices on everything you need for your best year yet. Save on headphones and laptops. Save on notebooks, pens, and all the essentials. Priced low and still in stock. And right now at Staples, 24-pack Crayola crayons and comp books are only 50 cents each. Plus, select notebooks are just 35 cents each. School on, save on at Staples, where school savings are always in session. Ends 9/16. In-store only, limit 30.
Section.
Hey, gang, sorry I'm late. The other surgery went a little longer than anticipated.
Nah, you haven't missed much.
Oh, good. What's this guy getting? A car?
He's selling his kidney to get a new HVAC system installed.
Oh, an overpriced HVAC system. This is like the 3rd person this week.
So you think the hot weather's over? Not if your AC isn't keeping you cool. That's why thousands of Arizonans depend on Desert Diamond Air for 24/7 emergency service, to diagnostic checkups, to full replacement. Desert Diamond specializes in both residential and commercial HVAC systems with competitive pricing and experience to service and repair all major AC brands. And with federal tax credits up to $2,000, it's a great time to replace your AC system. Go to DesertDiamondAir.com or call 602-609-7288. That's 602-609-7288. Or search Desert Diamond Air on your mobile phone today.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
We know how it goes. You can't always tune in and hear your favorite shows and hosts.
Dude, look, I'm a loser. Okay?
It's cool, bro. That's why we post podcasts of your favorite shows and hosts. Listen when you want to. Listen on demand.
That is great and frankly kind of amazing.
Go to 1580thefanatic.com to download.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so coming up at 4:30 is Browns at Steelers. Walter Mellon says Pittsburgh tends to have the Browns number. I'm not in a position to check, but I think it's the past 6 times they played the Steelers and won. Yeah, but I don't think this time. I don't think Mike Tomlin has what he needs at this moment to to get past that. So Tron Slater says, is it me or does it feel like the Cardinals have been tanking since like 1920? No, they went to a Super Bowl, Tron. Come on, man. Baker's Cocky Hen says McVay will be running ridiculous parlay promotion on one of the sports books the day he retires just to pay him back. Kiss the Cook says Colorado, are they ready for primetime players? Oh, you want to talk about Dion's team? Man, it took double overtime to beat a crap team. I think that kind of makes them suspicious.
Well,
but then, like you said, that Colorado State was putting some vicious hits on them. But
yeah, like after the whistle kind of stuff, it was like, what am I watching? The longest yard? What is happening?
Does that excuse everything? They shouldn't have been that close.
Travis Hunter is one of their best players on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So him going to the hospital did change the way that game went.
So they were doing that early on, is what you're saying?
They were doing it the whole game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Stockton Slap says, little late, but how about them Cowboys, he yells. I don't know. I don't know. See, listen, the defense, yes. How about that Cowboys defense? That Cowboys offense, I'm not convinced yet.
I'm not convinced about that offense, but CeeDee Lamb, first off, I was watching him the other day. I was like, CeeDee Lamb, he must have hit the gym this offseason. He looks bigger. So that's one. And two, I don't know how great your offense needs to be if you're going to play defense like that. Like you can be just a average offense at that point.
Take some notes, Randy, because this is about you for next week.
I've been studying.
Cowboys are coming, man.
Yeah, ain't scared.
So the Bills were able to beat the Raiders this weekend. So Josh Allen looked more Josh Allen-y, I guess. And 38-10, a decisive win. Garoppolo did not look so good. What happened to him? Here's part of it. Josh Jacobs had -2 rushing yards. That is a historical feat. He's the first reigning NFL rushing champion since 1970 to finish a game with negative rushing yards. And also Devontae Adams, he got concussed. So the Raiders were having players drop like flies. Is that what happened? Because I didn't really see the game. It was in one of my by the way, I'm so tired of the Sunday ticket multi-screen thing. I have to bring another damn TV into the room just to track the games that I want to track. I was so frustrated this weekend. But so the Raiders, what's the story, Keon? Was Garoppolo just garbage, or the hurt players falling off? What did in the Raiders?
It was a little bit of both. I'm not going to bash Jimmy too much. It's just because he's the kind of quarterback, he needs those weapons around him to be great.
Well, he needs a run game to be effective.
He needs all of those things. He's not the kind of quarterback that you throw him on a crappy roster and he elevates it. And I'm not saying that the Raiders have a crappy roster. What I am saying is when you're that injured, you're just not going to look good. And then you have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not going to elevate the guys that are left. He doesn't. That's not his game. It's never been his game. He is his best when everything around him is working the way it's supposed to be working. Well, you lose Devontae Adams. You already didn't have Jacoby Myers going into this game. The run game wasn't exactly getting started yet. 55 yards on the ground. That is going to hold a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo back. So I'm not going to blame him too much for being exactly the dude we think he is when he doesn't have weapons.
On to the Ravens and Bengals.
That was a good game.
Feel like Lamar sort of found his way back to Lamarness. Not bad at all. He had 54 yards on the ground. He ran 12 different times there. He was 24 of 33 for 237 yards. Just seemed like the Lamar Jackson you'd expect. And the Bengals, you just look at Joe Burrow. There's still something wrong there. Something is still wrong there, and people are saying, it looks like that calf is nagging at him. But I don't know if that's the excuse for everything.
I don't know if it's the excuse, but before I get into the game, I honestly think that if Joe Burrow wasn't really, really ready to go week 1, the Bengals made a mistake bringing him back, because now you're 0-2 anyway, and the calf is re-aggravated. So I don't know. He's going to end up missing time at some point. He was sitting on the sideline with the Theragun, and I'm like, this guy's not going to make it through the first half of the season. He's going to need some time out. So I don't know. I mean, the calf is already rough. So with the game though, I thought that the Ravens played really, really well on both sides of the ball. Offensively, the new offense finally we got to see it. We didn't really get to see it last week with the Texans because everything just was so bad. And then the defense ended up taking over that game and putting them on short field. So we never got to see what the Ravens look like when they have to move the ball. The new Todd Monken offense, that thing is awesome. And Lamar Jackson to Zay Flowers is the new fun connection because he had a throw that was on a rope to Zay Flowers, 52 yards down the field. That was pretty awesome. And Joe Burrow, he didn't complete a pass. He was 0 for 12 of passes of greater than 15 yards.
Well, the calf thing left him flat-footed a lot of times. He was trying to throw that ball. So I mean,
he's not 100%. I'm not knocking him for it. I'm saying he's not at his best right now, and therefore the Bengals can't be at their best.
Well, the Ravens get to come beat the Colts next week, so they'll get them to 3-0. I mean, if the Cardinals can't stop the Cowboys, they'll be at 3-0. A lot of people are about ready to go 3-0. How about your Commandos? Who are you playing next week?
Playing the Bills.
You are not going 3-0.
I don't think we're going 3-0
against the spread.
It was a nice run. Look, first 2-0 for the first time since Rex Grossman was the starting quarterback. So,
enjoy it for the week. Against the spread says you should have read my picks on Friday, Jeffrey. I was 2-1 on Saturday. The only game I dumped on was a 61-yard kick. Yeah, against the spread, I didn't see that. It came in kind of late in the show. Had a bunch of other texts ahead of you, and I just couldn't get through all of them. So I apologize. Sorry, guys. Well, try to send that a little earlier against the spread. I'm doing my best. Jiggy says, tried telling all of you. What are you trying to tell me here? Oh,
trying to tell us what?
I don't know. He said, stop sending me your FanDuel betting slips, because just send me a text that says it and then the FanDuel betting slip so I can figure this out. He had the I can't read it. I don't understand what this is. Oh, Anthony Richardson to score 2 touchdowns. Wow, boy, you got lucky on that one, man, because he went out of the game with a concussion. If he'd have gotten that concussion on the first touchdown, you'd have, oh my God, he made $376 off this thing.
Oh, wow.
He bet $23.56, an oddly specific number, and he won $376.
That feels like he had
well done, Jiggy.
All the money that he had in his account, he just used all of that.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know we were missing an F-35 jet fighter. What are you talking about, George? He says, I guess they found it in a field in South Carolina.
Oh yeah, there was an ejection issue with one of the jets, and so the pilot got ejected. And the jet was on autopilot, so it was just
flying around doing its own thing,
flying around somewhere in South Carolina. Yeah.
Wow, that's not terrifying.
That's horrifying. Yeah, they're just like, no one's got control of this fighter jet.
So Jiggy explains the betting amount. He says, I had $523.56, and I didn't want my account to go below 500. Well, now it's up to 800 something. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Pringle says, do the Cowboys have a Super Bowl defense, even though that defense has never been to the Super Bowl? It's a good point.
It could be. I hate saying that. I hate saying that. But
it's really hard for Keon.
But yesterday, I saw a team that, and I understand they were playing the Jets, and I understand that Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson, but the Jets couldn't even run the ball on him. Couldn't run.
So let's spend very little time talking about how the Seahawks won their game yesterday. Geno Smith and the Seahawks beat the Lions in overtime, 37-31. And all right, it was, it was up, it was down, it was back, it was forth. And I tell you, I feel like Jared Goff is still good quarterback, even though he had that one interception. That was like the end of his streak of consecutive passes without an interception. 383.
Wow.
I still say he's fantasy football solid. Like, if all you've got is him just playing week in and week out, you're going to get 25 to 30, 35 points every week. It's not a sexy pick, but it's always been a solid one. Yeah, they just couldn't keep the Seahawks down on this one. Of course, that one interception was a pick six. So
yeah, so
kind of the difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, you lose by 7. That's that basically is it. But I also think that Seattle at least gets some credit for what they were able to do on the ground, because Kenneth Walker played a really good game. gone to the end zone a couple of times. And then he only had 16 yards, but Zach Charbonnet had some very key first downs for them late in that game that kept them going. So the running attack for the Seahawks doing great things. And then on top of that, Gino's just got a lot of weapons to throw to. He's just got a crap ton of weapons to throw to. And the help of that one pick six, I think, put him over the top.
You know who I blame, guys? CJ Gardner-Johnson. Should have never said, "Hey, everybody, let's wear blue ski masks for the game because we stole games, we're criminals." Yeah, and so it was really embarrassing in the locker room of the Seahawks when the players had that one of them blue masks on. They're like,
I mean, that's the look. It backfires in that way. You try and do things to pump up your team, but you got to be careful because that could be used against you. And unfortunately, there were a bunch of sad Lions fans with ski masks leaving the stadium after the game, and they all look ridiculous.
There's like, leave them on. Just leave them.
Yeah,
on. Just leave them on.
It's better that nobody knows who you are.
So I don't know who has David Montgomery in fantasy football, but he's got a thigh bruise, and I don't know if that means if they said he's going to spend any time on the bench for this. He got a thigh bruise. It was pretty bad. Anybody? Did you hear anything?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that. I'll go ahead and give that a check though.
I heard he's got a thigh bruise.
Randy, do you have him in fantasy football?
No. But I understand he's got a thigh bruise.
That's what I heard. Reaper says, "Hope you guys had a good weekend. The Rams are 1-1." I don't know how proud I'd be of that record just yet. Nobody's going around going, "Woo, we're 1-1."
Well, they beat the Seahawks.
So are the Colts, Reaper. So are the Colts.
And they lost to the Niners. So as far as who they've played, and also David Montgomery, Lions think he's going to take a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I hear he's got a thigh bruise. It's pretty significant. Yeah.
Listen, we've got this much left to go in 1/2 hour. I feel like we're not at the pace we need to be, so we're going to have to pick it up. Double time, kids. It's the Daily Blender, wrapping up all the different games from the weekend. We'll be back. You're on 1580, The Fanatic.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. If the volatility of these markets is making you seasick, you're not alone. Many investors are afraid to make a move, but not taking action can be just as detrimental as taking the wrong action. All of us here at Compact are focused on growing and protecting your assets. That means watching market activity all day, every day to try and find the great money-making opportunities during the good times and keep your money out of harm's way during the bad times. We have the products, resources, and experience to help you stay ahead of the game. So if you're wondering what your next step should be, let's chat. 1-800-388-9700. I will sit down with you to discuss your options and to help you get past the fear so you can make better financial decisions. Call me at 1-800-388-9700 and let's work together to build your financial future. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940 or online, lundmortgage.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K2.2 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime. When does it start? Right now. 3, 2, 1. Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. In 30 minutes, we'll have the Westwood One broadcast of the Browns and Steelers. I think in about 15 minutes on TV, if you care about it. You can have Saints and Panthers if you like. But right now, we're trying to talk about all the games that happened over the weekend. So we're gonna have to step up the pace if we're gonna get all these games talked about. So Titans and Chargers. The Titans beat them 27-24. There was a lot of overtime this weekend. I didn't realize how many overtime games there were. But so now the Chargers are now 0-2. The Vikings are 0-2, so it'll be the 0-2 bowl for them next weekend. But Ryan Tannehill, I guess playing Ryan Tannehill type football. I guess. I mean, he's never really great, but he's never ever bad. I just, I can't put a finger on this guy.
Well, he's a typical game manager. I mean, he just doesn't go about making enormous mistakes.
I mean, with the exception of last week, of course.
Well, last week was week 1. I mean,
yeah.
Don't we throw out week 1 every year?
It's like Brian. It's like the
sometimes.
preseason now.
I mean, it was last week. He was unrecognizable because he's just always been safe. And last week he was just throwing YOLO balls to D-Hop, and you're just like, what the hell is happening? I do think that now, this week anyway, he played more like the Ryan Tannehill we know. He didn't make any mistakes, like Randy said. But he also had some big time throws in that game. And he was spreading the ball around, which I think is the most important issue there.
Yeah, even with Dicker the kicker, the Chargers just couldn't get past the Tennessee Titans. And DeAndre Hopkins, how are his stats? How did he do in fantasy football?
He only got about like 8 points in fantasy football, which is not bad, but it's not great.
He's on the way it's going to be for him now.
He had 4 catches on my squad. For 40 yards and didn't get into the end zone. Like the Chargers were just not going to give him any room to operate. And I think probably they overplayed him a lot. And that's why there was so much room on some of those other throws that Tannehill had, those other guys that he decided to target, including Treylon Burks, who they drafted to replace A.J. Brown. Looked like a bust for a little bit. But he's starting to deliver on that promise. He absolutely balled out yesterday. I think that's an absolutely huge game for him. I look at the Chargers and I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're doing defensively. Like your coach is a defensive coach. And I do think Brandon Staley, if this keeps continuing, he's going to be on the hot seat because you can't be a defensive minded coach with the talent that they have with Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa and Derwin James and some of those other pieces they have on the defensive side of the ball. You can't have that and then give up 27 points to the Titans, who were struggling the week before to even make offense happen. I think they overplayed D-Hop.
Tia says, fire Brandon Staley. Damn it, Jeffrey. I was shouting that all off season, and you talked me off the ledge. Now that fool has continued to cost us more games with his terrible defensive play calls. FTP. What's FTP stand for?
I don't know, actually. And
I think it's the racer's edge, isn't it? Motor oil? Oh, wait, that's STP.
F the police. I don't know what you're yelling to you was.
And by the way, I never really talked you off the ledge about Brandon Staley. I had a lot to say about,
I
Justin
might have
Fields.
I might have talked you off that ledge, but
Yeah, it was
I don't
more
know if
likely
Jeffrey did.
Keon.
But yeah, I like the defense has been absolutely underwhelming, and this cannot maintain. I understand what Brandon Staley wants to do defensively. He'd like to have the kind of defense where, look, you just rush 4 guys and then you can do a bunch of really creative and complicated things in coverage. But he doesn't have that defense. And so he might want to start dialing up extra pressure from other places like other normal defensive coordinators have to, because this is not working.
Yeah, I'm not. I am less and less on the Justin Fields bandwagon. But Keon continues to say, well, it's not necessarily his fault, but there's a lot of stuff that's happening around him, a lot of players around him.
When you say Justin Fields, you mean Justin Herbert?
No, I'm talking about Justin Fields. We're talking about Baker Mayfield, and we're talking about Justin Fields right now.
Oh,
Wait.
I thought we were talking about the Chargers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the Bears.
Yeah, I was kind of wrapping it up with the Brandon Staley thing, and
sorry.
I was just saying I might have been the one to talk to you.
I got confused there. I'm sorry.
Not you. That's why. Yeah.
I thought we'd moved on to the Bears and the Buccaneers. My bad. This is just the kind of show it is today.
This just what's happening. Yeah.
Sorry, Tia was. I misunderstood. Pringle says Khalil Mack has been washed up for like 3 years.
He really feels like it. That first year he showed up with the Chargers, he looked really good, and then now not so much.
Oh, so Tia was explains FTP, and it's a Spanish thing.
Okay.
F that something that starts with P in Spanish. All right.
All right.
So sorry I got confused there. But yeah, when Baker Mayfield looks great against your team, you should be embarrassed. The Bears are 0-2, and they were appropriately embarrassed. The Bucs are a plastic 2-0, if you ask me. I don't think they're as good as that record for sure. But here we are. The Bears are now 0-2, and Chase Claypool for the Bears. Well, at least he kind of redeemed himself a little. He
tried.
He had 3 targets, 36 yards, and a touchdown. So after the last week, everybody was like, "Oh, they're probably going to cut this guy." He finally stepped up and showed a little bit of something. But as far as the game goes, please help me out here. Don't tell me the Baker Mayfield Bucs are good. Please don't tell me that.
The Baker Mayfield Bucs are decent. They are a solid team. They are well constructed all over the place. And I'll give Todd Bowles some credit. His defense is killing it out there. I mean, this is the second week where I'm like, okay.
His defenses are great everywhere he goes.
Yeah, they're great everywhere he goes, but sometimes
his offense.
It's he's not coaching the offense necessarily, but when he's the head coach, for some reason, his defenses aren't as good as when he's the defensive coordinator. This year, that's not true. That's been a legitimate defense. They had a game last week against the Vikings where they couldn't necessarily stop Justin Jefferson, but they contained him and they kept him out of the end zone. And then this week, I mean, the failure to launch for the Bears completely, and some of that is the Bears, but some of that is also the Buccaneers. And then Baker Mayfield has weapons to throw to. He has a connection with Mike Evans that's smart. If you're a quarterback, find the guy on your team that can make those ridiculous circus catches and throw it to him.
Big George says, I'm getting off the Justin Fields bandwagon. Well, I would almost be tempted, but then I saw this. I don't think it's his fault. Last year, Justin Fields was sacked 55 times. That was more than anybody else in the NFL. This year, if he continues on and doesn't get murdered before the end of the season, he will be sacked even more than that. He's on a pace to beat that 55 sacks. So, yeah, I guess it's not really absolutely Justin Fields' fault unless you see him holding the ball way too long.
He does that sometimes, but sometimes he just is legitimately running for his life. Like the play is over before it even starts sometimes. And the thing that really kills me with the Bears is that I can see there are some plays where it's just obviously Justin, where he just didn't see the field correctly or he missed an open throw. And you're just like, man, dude, what are you looking at? But there are some plays where, honest to God, you can go back, you can watch it in the all 22, the coach's film, and you can't figure out where the actual number one receiver is supposed to be. Who is he supposed to be looking at? Why the hell is Darnell Mooney in the same place as Chase Claypool? Why are they doing there together? Isn't that just drawing more defenders in? It's absolutely asinine play calling on top of some of the stuff that Justin Fields is also doing wrong. And I just think that you can't develop a young quarterback with play calling like that and an offensive line like this and a defense that stinks.
Yeah, I think what the hell are you looking at would actually make more sense if Justin Fields had Steve Buscemi eyes. Mr. Pringle says that's a tough sell on the Buccaneers defense, considering they played Justin. I don't see any receivers, Fields and the Bears. Blissel Hayes says it's not very difficult to fool Justin Fields. He can't read a defense.
That's why I referenced this game and the Vikings game. And
Hefty Lefty says, congratulations on your team's well-earned comeback win, Keon. Oh, that's right. Hefty Lefty's a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
They played a good second half, and the Broncos reverted to the inept offense we've learned to expect. I'm not even mad about the 2-point conversion call at the end. After giving up a 21-3 lead, they don't deserve to complain. Yeah, that's very magnanimous of him, isn't it? That's
yeah,
fair enough.
It was a bang play there. So
the Chiefs won 17-9 over the Jaguars, but it wasn't pretty. Even with the return of Travis Kelce, Mahomes was 29 of 41 for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also had an interception. And he moved that ball around, so it wasn't just Kelce coming back, although Kelce did make a difference. It just didn't feel like didn't feel like a good Chiefs game, did it?
You're going to have to win some of them like this. Like they're just at this point in Patrick Mahomes' career, we all know what he is and we all know how he's capable of beating you. And the Jaguars basically decided they weren't going to let big plays happen. You can do whatever you have to do underneath. We're not going to let you go over the top. And so we didn't see the signature Patrick Mahomes stuff. But I give him a lot of credit for staying disciplined. And hey, if they're going to just give you underneath, take that. And it's not going to be pretty, and it's going to be longer drives that take up more time. But it's the smart way to play the game, and not, don't whatever Josh Allen did in week 1 with the Jets. Don't do that trying to overcompensate.
Well, the fair deal would be that Patrick Mahomes, he has now a new deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, $208.1 million that'll be between 2023 and 2026, all of it guaranteed for injury. Travis Kelce gets to bang Taylor Swift. So both of them have. I just
did not see that in
not
headlines
that is
anywhere.
not confirmed at all. But
no, according to Entertainment Tonight, it's not official. But Ian Eagle during that, when Kelce got the touchdown, he says, "Kelce finds a blank space for the score." And I have no idea what that means. So I had to ask my wife, and she's all, it's a Taylor Swift lyric. Yeah, that's what that was, about a check. Something. What? A check? A blank check. She says it's an anti-man song. I'm like, oh, damn, Ian Eagle. Well done.
Ian Eagle, deep.
Yeah.
Deep in his bag.
So, Mahomes, he will get $56.85 million this year. And, now it's, they keep saying every deal that gets made is like, this is the biggest deal ever. Well, it's the biggest deal ever.
Yeah, well,
somebody else gets it.
Until one of these days, which I don't know when it'll ever happen. If the NFL ever loses money in a year and the cap goes down, that'll be the first year this happens.
Yeah, it'll
and
never happen.
No end in sight at the moment.
So, Travis Kelce is, canoodling with Taylor Swift, which, by the way, I am so worried about him. I am so worried about Travis Kelce because, he seems like a good dude, and she does not seem like somebody who'd be good to a good dude.
Well, I don't know how they're going to have any sort of relationship. I mean, she's still on a world tour.
But he's also on a tour. So, they're also both very rich and can find ways of stealing time together if they want. So, well, whatever the case, the Chiefs,
she has a private jet. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, she wants it figured out. It will be figured out. So the 49ers and Brock Purdy, they're looking real. That is real. Okay, we there's some of these things, and maybe we should have longer conversations about this in the coming days. 49ers look real. Yeah, I don't know if the Cowboys look 100% real, but the 49ers do look 100% real. Agree or disagree, guys?
I agree with that 100%.
I agree. They ran over the Rams. I mean, that was a tough game to play. It was a good Matthew Stafford game, and they still beat him.
Yeah, Puka Nacua. And by the way, if If I didn't have him in the league, I'd probably call him Puka. But I just when they're my players in fantasy football, I'm nice.
Also, Puka Nacua is just Cooper Kupp now, isn't he?
He is.
Like he's just
the
taking his
Hawaiian
spot on the
Cooper Kupp.
offense.
Yeah. I think if you move all the letters in his name around, it spells Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
so too. Yeah.
But can you imagine Puka on one side, Koopa on the other, Koopa and Puka together,
and then Tutu?
Holy crap! The Rams might be 0-2, but they're about to be better. I think remember I told you everything lives and dies on Cooper Kupp, and I was kind of right on that. But back to the 49ers. Joe Burrow is what he was last year. I got no complaints with him. 17-25 passing, 206 yards. He had a rushing touchdown, and he's still the only thing he's thinking about is the ones he messed up. And I appreciate that about him. He's like, there's some stuff I got to work on. I just don't feel good about. But that 49er team is cranking along, doing just fine. I'm sorry, Randy.
I don't know why you're sorry.
Well, because they're in your division. I mean, I know you pull for the kid because he's from Gilbert, but outside of that, it is the 49ers. But it was the 49ers beating the other team in your division.
I mean, we can beat them just as much as we can beat any other team. I mean,
yes, you can. The Cardinals can beat the 49ers as much as they can beat any other team.
I'm not looking towards 49ers. I'm looking at the Cowboys square in the eyes this week. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not going ahead here and trying to move down the road anywhere. I'm looking square at the Cowgirls when they take on the Cardinals this week.
Yeah.
I hope the Texans get that number 1 overall pick for the Cardinals, because I think the Cardinals are going to mess around and win more games than they should.
Damn right we are.
They almost won yesterday, but didn't. Baker's cocky hand says, wait, Cardinals play the Cowboys the same weekend as ASU plays USC? This is a bloodbath weekend ahead. Sadly, I think you're right. But we don't have time for this. We got to keep talking about these games before we run out of time. So the Cowboys beat the living daylights out of the Jets 30-10. They have now scored 70 points to 10 points over all New York teams. And Keon, that just puts a spring in your step, I guess, until you have to play them.
The only good news here that's also happening is that because of the schedule, we also have to play the Jets. So that's kind of nice. That'll make up for whatever's going to happen.
But you're going to play a Cowboys team that is 12 weeks in. Now they will either have continued momentum or tired themselves out some to where your beating won't be quite as bad as the earlier beatings.
Yeah, I also don't think that the Commanders' offense is anywhere near as bad as whatever the Jets have going on. And I also, it's also more diverse, I think, than what the Giants have. So hopefully, I don't think they're going to win the game, but I don't think it's going to be, just a
Keon, that's mistake number one. I don't know why you're saying you don't think they're going to win the game. I mean, you've got to be positive here, okay?
I'm positive they're not going to win the games.
The Washington football team is going to bounce and trounce all over the Cowgirls. See, that's where you got to go about it.
I don't. You have the spirit that you can pull up from just the depths. I don't have that, man. I've seen this team lose in such a wide variety of different ways.
Get out of that mindset. It's a new day, a new dawn.
I root for them every single time, but if I feel like they're going to lose, I'll tell you.
Cowboys is not just on the defense. You know what is sort of quietly not happened for the offense? Dak Prescott is yet to throw an interception. That right there is a very surprising thing. We were making fun of him during the preseason.
Now, part of it is that defense, though. He gets some nice feels to start off with. That you're not marching a 20, from the 20. It's not
chucking it down the field.
Yeah, it's not an 80-yard drive.
Yeah,
they're playing with a lead most of these games, so there's no reason to be ridiculous with the football. Dak is back in his best game manager mode.
My favorite project from last year was underused in this game. They just abandoned the running game, talking about the Jets, and Breece Hall did not have diddly squat. He had like a couple of points in fantasy football. I think 0.5 points in fantasy football.
Yeah, I had him.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
I have Dalvin Cook. It's so funny. The two of them combined had 1.1 yard. What
the hell's wrong with Salah? Why do you abandon all your regular play just because you get down? Didn't help. Didn't help. You got to
Yeah,
maintain the run game.
it's-
Why do
it's-
they always fall for that?
I think the issue is part of it is if you run the ball, you need to be picking up big chunk yards, because if you don't, then you're not gaining yards and you're burning the clock and you're behind. And I think with them, it was just so hard to run on that Cowboys front. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough. The Micah Parsons, if he knows what direction the run is going, it's basically dead. You can't pick up a ton of yards. So with Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, unfortunately, they weren't getting the yards. And at that point, you're not doing yourself a service by trying to run it, because you're just ending the game faster.
So let me just say something. If it's a woman, it's a feint. If it's a man, it's a passed out. I feel like the media has done Sharif Floyd, the assistant coach for the Cowboys, dirty. I don't have any love for the Cowboys, but it ain't right to say a man fainted. You say the man passed out, but all the reports say Sharif Floyd fainted on the sideline, but he's okay. Yeah, I'm sure he's not thrilled that you said he fainted. Women faint, men pass out. Is it the
Yep.
same thing? Absolutely the same thing. Don't say a man fainted. It's not right.
Passed out. Yeah.
By the way, Jerry Jones, I feel, I don't know. Is this a dig on Jimmy Johnson? Headline, Jerry Jones gives credit to Mike McCarthy for Cowboys' dominant start. The whole relationship between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson back in the 90s was because Jimmy Johnson took some credit for the Super Bowl stuff, and that pissed off Jerry Jones.
Well, Jerry doesn't have any problem giving McCarthy credit, because if the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, no one's going to be like, yeah, this was Mike McCarthy's team. No one respects him enough.
I know, but I'm just saying the fact he said it out loud makes you think that's also a dig on Jerry Jones.
I mean,
he's
it
not going to
could
be in the Ring of Honor anytime either. So Jerry Jones is just all middle fingers for Jimmy Johnson, like all the time.
I wouldn't put it past him, but I do think that there's something there to, making your coach feel good about himself and all that stuff.
So I'll tell you what, not just give him a 12-inch sub or 3,
boy.
So we've actually done a very good job. We only have one game left to talk about from this weekend, the Dolphins and the Patriots. And we'll do that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Don't miss any of the primetime action this season with Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer quarterback Kurt Warner on site calling the game. And I'll be on hand from the studio for the pregame and to wrap up the weekend's action. Join us on air and on the free live stream, sponsored by AutoZone, for Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new BrakeBest Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, QuietTech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose BrakeBest Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
The NASCAR season will come to an end in Phoenix, but the championship weekend will last forever. 4 championship races in 3 days, all set against the stunning backdrop of the desert mountains. A Friday doubleheader under the lights, the Xfinity Championship on Saturday, and a Cup Series champion crowned on Sunday. It's a weekend you'll wish would never end. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 3rd through the 5th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Arizona offers thousands of helpful resources for service members, veterans, and their families, but navigating the system can be confusing and overwhelming. Call 866-4AZ-VETS to talk directly to caring people professionally trained to help you. Get connected to resources and benefits at no cost. Just call 866-4AZ-VETS now. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
Are you ready for the NFL season? Are you ready to win $1,580 in cold hard cash? Sign up today for the Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. Get over to 1580thefanatic.com and sign up today. Someone needs to win this $1,580 first prize. Why not you? Finish in second place. Cha-ching! You win $500. The Harman Solar 1580 The Fanatic NFL Fan Pick'em Contest. Sign up today at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. In a couple minutes, we're going to give way to the Browns at Steelers broadcast. I think the Saints and the Panthers broadcast somewhere has already started. But let's talk about the Dolphins beating the Patriots 24-17. Dear God, the best moment of my entire weekend was seeing Bill Belichick throw that challenge flag. First, he comes down into his crusty ass sock. He pulls out he has to go all the way down. Instead of having to wear it somewhere easy and convenient, he can go down to his old Kmart tube sock and pull this thing out. Then he goes over to this ref who's trying to move the first down chain back a little bit. And he just kind of looks at him and he goes, "No, I challenge you to a duel." I was so glad I was watching that. But Eddie lost the challenge, which made it even better. So 0-2. 0-2 the Patriots are, because the Dolphins beat them 24-17. It was not the offensive explosion from last week, but hey, the Patriots do have a kind of a decent defense there. But Tua and Tyreek Hill and all those guys, they did overcome it. So,
and I don't even think that was the best the Dolphins offense could play. It was kind of a bad day for them.
They are 2-0 right now. Are they a real 2-0? I feel like they're a real 2-0.
They definitely are a real 2-0 because that offense is legitimate and it's very difficult to stop. That was a good Patriots defense. They didn't play their best game and they still put up 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, the look of consternation on Belichick's face was obvious. His creepy son. With the mullet and on the tongue, he didn't look happy at all. And but Tyreek Hill could not wait to get out of Boston. Now, Tyreek Hill, I still think he's a piece of garbage as a human being, punching a kid in the chest and speaking to ladies the way he has. And I don't need to get back into his past, but one thing he noticed was the same thing a lot of athletes notice when they're in the Boston area. The fans are some of the worst ever. He says, some of the things they were saying, I wouldn't say in church. Would you say it while you're punching your kid in the chest? I don't know. Would you say it when you're talking to your baby mama in the front seat of the car? Would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, but I guess that Boston crowd is pretty rough.
It is, and they've been known to be, as the Chappelle skit said, habitual line steppers. They will step up on that line, and nobody seems to enjoy it. Might want to consider that, guys.
Well, that is all the time we have, everybody. So if your text is still sitting here tomorrow, maybe I'll read it then. But we are out of time. My apologies. We can only do so much. We can only do so much. But listen, enjoy the football tonight, whether you're watching the Saints and the Panthers or listening to the Browns and the Steelers here on this radio station. We'll talk about that when we come back tomorrow. See you at 3 p.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.